Hey there, Prime Coders. Welcome back to the Prime Coding channel. I am Aditya, and as per your demand, I am here with the next part of Capgemini technical assessment, where I will cover the previous 5 years of previous year question as well as most asked. Now, what you may most ask? In the previous 5 years, the questions will keep on repeating, the patterns are keep on asking in each and every shifts. I am here with all these stuffs of problem. So, without wasting time, let's hop to the very first problem. So, it is a small request, have a pen paper with you so that you can mark how many numbers you got after ending this particular video, so that you can evaluate how much you gathered and how much you know and where you are standing. Okay, A is an empty stack. The following operation are done on it. Fantastic. So we have an empty stack like this. So A comes in, okay, then 2 comes in, great, then 2 pops out, great, then 5 comes in, okay, 6 comes in, great. So pop 6, so pop, the top most element would be popped out. So my current top is on 5. What will be the stack contains after this operation? Top of the stack is underlined. So okay, so the answer would be 1 5. So yeah, 1 5 as we can see. So if yeah, it is a right option. So +1 mark if you mark this question right, and you can see the explanation as well. And I hope you all know it works on LeFo. That's why we are able to create all the steps in Visualize as well. So this will help you to find answer as 1, 5. Now, a stack is an implemented as a linear array a0 to n-1. What condition ensure that the push operation doesn't cause overflow? Now, if you might think of what do you mean by overflow? Overflow is, let's say your stack capacity is 5 and you want to push a 6th element into it, it will give you an overflow issue. So how you can make sure that you won't reach to the overflow stage? So if top is less than n, it might be they can go, because if array is on the 0 based indexing, so it should not n, it should n-1, because it's a 0 based indexing we deal in programming language. So I guess the B would be the right option. This will not work, this will not work. And yeah, top less than n-1. Why? We'll see the explanation as well. For a push operation in array based stack, the point or top pointer must not exceed the array limit. Since array are 0 indexed, the condition should be top n-1 to ensure the top pointer doesn't exceed the last valid index. Okay, so this is the explanation, and I hope you mark this question right. So another problem, I can guess you can mark this problem without waiting a second. A stack is implemented as a linear array. Same, Noor writes a function to pop an element from the stack. What condition ensure that the pop operation doesn't cause the underflow? Now, I know you mark the option, but still, those who don't able to. So, underflow means you don't have element into your stack, but still you want to pop something, then you will reach to the underflow condition. So, when it will reach, when you will not check, no, this won't be the case, it's just for overflow, just now we saw. So, this is the right option that I can see. If top is less than equivalent to 0, which means we don't have element in our stack, if we check this, if we put an if condition, we will prevent this underflow situation. So, yeah, top is greater than equivalent to 0. In an array based stack, if the top pointer is less than 0, it means the stack is empty, causing an underflow during a pop. Hence, top is greater than equivalent to 0, ensures safe popping of elements. Okay, so a queue is initially empty. The following operations are performed: add 5, add 7, add 46, delete. Okay, let me create an queue as well. Okay, fantastic. So add 5, fantastic. So this is front. Now we always append everything on a rear end. So 5, 7, then we have 46, then we need to delete. Whenever we want to delete from a queue, we delete from the front, and front would be incremented here. So yeah, if 5 has been deleted, now 13 comes into the picture. So 13, so now delete, again 7 will went off, delete, so 46 will go, add 10, so we have 10 here. Okay, so 13 and 10. So 13 is in the front, 10 is on the rear. So 13 is in the front, 10 is the rear, and A is the right option of this problem. What will be the queue contents after these operations? And we found A is the right option. Yes, 10 rear, 13 front, bingo. So explanation, whatever I show you by creating the array is the same case. Okay, so you can just pause the screen if you want to read, or let's move to the next problem. +1 mark again if you mark that problem right. A queue is implemented as a singly linked list. Okay. Each node has an element and a pointer to another node. Which node will point to an empty or no location? So you have a queue, so this would be the linked list, and as we know, this would be the front side where we should pop on the element out, and here is a rear element where we can insert. So yes, at the very last pointer, which is rear, will be pointing towards the null. So yeah, so rear would be the right option. +1 marks again if you mark that question right, and you can go through with this explanation, which looks pretty easy, is it? A stack is implemented as singly linked list. The top node will contain the address of which node? Okay, so top node will contain the address of which node. So let's say you have elements such as, let me create so that we can visualize, so that this problem will not go outside your mind. It will stay for a long period of time. Okay, so we have 1, then we have 2, then we have 3. So top is currently pointing to here. If next element comes in the picture, we will append it here. Is it? So yeah, so it will store the address of the very last element which is inserted into the stack. So let's check. No node, it will be empty. No. The node containing the first element push into the stack. The node containing the element push just before the top element. Okay, so previously the top would be this. Now again the top element would be inserted. So yeah, C makes sense, C makes sense, D none of the, no, this is not, B is not, C is the right option. The node containing the element push just before the top element. So in a linked list based stack, each new element is popped on top. The top node will point to the node just below it, which contains the element push before it. Okay, so that address will be stored in the pointer of top. A queue is implemented by linear array size 10. I have created for you, not circular. It's a hint. Okay, after the following operation, add 1, delete. Okay, add 1, then we need to delete it as we delete from the front end. Add 2. Okay, add 2 is there. Add 3 is there. Add 4 is there. Now we need to delete. Okay, delete. Okay, done. So what is the maximum capacity of the queue? So the maximum capacity when we are not putting any elements, so it would be 10, is it? So as this queue is non-reusable because this is not a circular queue, so 3 of the spaces went waste. Okay, we can't reuse it because it's not circular. If it is a circular, after this 9th point will come up to the very first index using modulus operator, and we can reuse this utilized space. Don't you think? Yeah, so this space is just totally unusable, and third pointer is used because 4 is still there in our array size of 10. So what would be the maximum size? Like I would say we can accommodate only 7 elements because 10 minus 3 would be 7. So yeah, 7 would be the right answer. Yeah, so 7 is the right answer, +1 mark if you mark this question right. So after operation, 3 elements are added and 3 are deleted. Since array is not circular, the rear pointer moves forward, as I said, reducing the effective capacity. So the maximum capacity will remain is 7. Okay, so a queue is implemented as a singly linked list if the condition where, let's say this is a linked list which is pointing to the null, where it is a rear as well, it is a front as well. So is true and neither is null, and both of this is not null, which means let's say I will say this is a front end and this is a rear end. So rear end itself connected to the front end. So this is the case. So what do we infer? So we can see that it is on the same element or it has one element into it, because this is not an error. None of these, it has no element. B, it has one element and it is a circular linked list. Okay, so yeah, B, it has one element and +1 marks again if you mark this question right. So if front and rear and neither is null, it means there is only one element in the queue, as both the front and the rear pointers are pointing to the same node. Fantastic. So Jaswinder wants to store ticket number in data structure where new tickets are added to the end and the tickets at the top is used first. Which data structure should be used? As he's storing the ticket numbers are added to the end. So this is the first, added to the end word, and the ticket at the top is used first. So ticket, whatever top, okay, so whatever ticket we have on the top will be used here. So which data structure? Q is the right data structure where you are utilizing from the, like you're popping it from the front and you keep on adding the new tickets in the end as question states. So Q would be the right option. Yeah, Q is the right option because a queue works in first in, first out principle, where the first ticket added is it the first one to be issued, which is exactly what Jasminder needs. Let's say if you went to the theater, you will get ticket number as 1, and after that 100 people booked the ticket. So the 99 people will not popped out first. They will first call you who has a ticket number as 1 so that they can accommodate first, then simultaneously with the numbers. Similarly applies here, that's why you're using Q here. Okay, so the time required to insert an element in a stack with a linked list implementation. So as stack is a leaf or data structure, so if you want to add a new element, such as you want to add 4, so you will directly add up 4 because top is currently here. So what you can do, you can add and reinitialize your top, which means we have a pointer which keep count of the recent element has been added. Okay, if you think this is a linked list, this is a linked list, I will tell you. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and let's say my top is here because top will always point to the recent element which comes into the list. Is it now? If I need to add a 4 ticket or node into my linked list, it will just take me over n time because I have a tail pointer in the end. I just need to initialize its next pointer to the new pointer and it's next to the null, and reinitialize my top to the new element which is currently inserted. So yeah, option 1 would be the right option. It will not take base 2 n log base 2 n O of n or this case. So option 1 makes pretty same. So yeah, option 1 is the correct option. So think like a stack is a pile of blocks. When we use a linked list to add a block, it's super fast. You just put the new block on the top of the pile instantly. This takes constant time, which is called O of n, or it doesn't matter how many blocks or elements are in the stack. So O of n means you can do the job right away, no matter how big the list is. Okay, so the other options mean to be take longer if the list is bigger, which is not true for adding to a stack with a linked list. So this is an explanation, and I also explained in a very physical or pictorial way which will stay into your mind, and try to create the images if possible so that you can remove the confusions whatever going into your mind. So Shandeep, Shubham, Adesh, Varun, Mukesh, Priyanka, these people recently crack Accenture, Capgemini, TCS, NQT, Ninja, Prime, Digital Role, and much many roles. They just took the mock session and you can crack the interview opportunity whatever you got. So in the one-to-one mock session, you will get a comprehensive 1 hour of session which includes your technical coding, core, much more your resume-based problems, then HR and manager round problems as well, and fully 1 hour. Then resume review takes 10 to 15 minutes, will let you know all your weak points in your resume and what all stuff that you need to improve. Personalized feedback on your mock sessions, like how you need to express where you are lagging, what is your weakness, how you can overcome it, suggestions for future improvement, roadmap, mentorship, guidance, doubt solving, and much more. So for that, you just need to head on to the www.primecoding.in and you will get all the packages listed there. Have plans and convert your interview opportunity to the offer letter and make your parents proud. So which of these sorting methods is the slowest for any given array? So quick sort, a logarithmic sorting algorithm which takes n log n, and in the worst case take O of n square. Heap, log n algorithm. But sort, both are n log n algorithm. But here the bubble sort is O of n square algorithms where we keep on swapping the element and putting it in the right place, and it takes n number of time. So yeah, option 4 will be the right option. As we can see, option 4, which is a bubble sort. Sorting is organizing your toys. Bubble sort is like comparing each toy with the next, swapping them until all toys are in the order. So if it's a very slow, especially if there are a lot of toys or numbers. The other sorting methods like quick sort, heap sort are faster or smarter in how they organize the toys. Do let me know the difference between the heap sort and mud sort in the description, because people don't know about it, which one is optimal in what cases. Okay, do let me know. Shashi write a program in C++ and Pankaj changes the indentation spacing of some of the statements. What will this lead to? Guys, this problem is very straightforward. Don't think in respective to the language, because in C++, Java, if you do some indentation and spacing, there is not an issue. You just need to maintain the braces there. But in Python, if you change the indentation, it may create some problems or indentation error or some syntactical error. But think like a layman. Okay, so option would be faster execution, lower memory requirement, corrections of error, better readability. So 3 of the cases will be not applicable on this particular problem statement. But if you put some spaces between everything, like if you are from C++, if you do like equivalent to 0, having space between it, then have a space, then have a space. So what it will do, it will not create error, but it will create a better readability. So option 4 is the right option. As you can see, press 1 mark if you mark this question right. So changing the spaces of indentation in the code doesn't make the program faster or fix any errors. Totally dependable on the languages, but in the question it doesn't state. So you can apply a layman thinking. So it just makes the program easier to read and understand, like using neat handwriting in a notebook. Okay, so Zainab and Shashi write a program to find the mass of water. Who has better programming practice? So code B, short variable names. Don't think so. Code A, clear variables names. Code A runs correctly. Code B gives an error. B runs correctly. Code A gives an error. So this problem is type of thinkable problem which they are trying to see how better you can think in respective of the coding. So I hope you mark the option 2 as a right option, because having a clear variable name shows very professionalism in your code snippet. If you write a equivalent to input, or you can write like student input or whatever, which will be very logical to the input statement that you are passing or getting the input from the user. Okay, because a equivalent to input doesn't state anything, but student name input, which states, okay, this line is taking the user input of this name or a student's name. Okay, so option 2 is the right option. So using meaningful names for things like hydrogen and oxygen make it easier to understand what the problem is doing. Same example that I told regarding the student. Short names like A, B, C can be confusing because we don't know what they mean. Fantastic. So what is the first step in creating a working program? Writing the program in a programming language, writing a step-by-step algorithm plan. So if you studied design or data structures in your college, this is the very first point that that teacher used to let us know, that before writing and code, please write in one line by line algorithm, whatever you want to code. Okay, so compiling libraries, no. Debugging the code, no. So option 2 is the right option. Before you write a program, you need to have a plan. That's why whenever I solve a OA problem, I used to define the task that I need to do and try to split the task in different functions and calling it from the main, so that my task will be very simpler, because my ideation is very clear. But if you are just thinking and writing up the code, you will end up having some logical errors, syntax errors, and it might be your code will not work. Okay, so it's like a recipe for before cooking. This plan is an algorithm and helps you understand what steps to take before you actually write a program. What does it means for a program to be robust? Now, most of the people do mention robust keyword in their resume as well. My project is robust, resilient and stuff. So I guess you will mark this option for sure. So it runs correctly on some input. No, not totally. It's strong against hardware damage. No, guys, not an issue. So it can handle incorrect input as well. Now, this is a trait of a good programmer who takes the input and thinks for the test cases as well. Okay, what if instead of putting his name, he started putting his phone numbers or stuff? It may be the case. And none of these options. So this is not the case. Option 3 is the right option, where it can handle the incorrect input and stores. The robust program is one of the doesn't break if you give it a wrong data. So try catch. It's like a toy that's doesn't break easily if you play with the wrong way as well. So Tarun wants to write a code to warn the user if they try to divide by 0. Okay, so divide by 0, it's not the case that you need to do in your numerics thing. So what should he use? So iteration, no. Decision making, no. Recursion, no. None of this, no. So what is the right option? Option 2 makes sense with the option that do decide or discuss what will be the scenario if the user is dividing something by 0. Do we need to put some error in a positive manner, like not stopping the progress but letting the user know you are going the wrong way? So for decision making, you are either use if else statements or try catch statements or switch cases. It's totally upon you. So option 2, where you should use a decision making thinking. So decision making in a programming is like choose your own adventure story. If something happens like dividing by 0, the program decide what to do next, like showing a warning. Fantastic. What is the purpose of if condition then A else B? So decision making, as we can see directly without wasting time, option A is the right option, and you can go through the explanation as well. Okay, if you are thinking that these problems are very easy, go to the first part of the Capgemini where I covered the multiplexer questions, add-on questions, and in this problem you will get more bits problem as well. I will try my best so that you will not score full marks into this exam, but you are a brilliant guy. You will definitely score a good number of marks in this test. Do let me know how many marks you obtained after solving whole problems. So in sequential programming language, how are code statement executed? All at the same time? Sequential. Okay, from top to bottom, from bottom to top. in a sequence. So it would be top to bottom. Yes, option 2. So now, just like reading a book, program is a sequential language are executed from top to bottom. Makes the sense. Okay. So a for loop is used for what purpose? Decision making, iteration, recursion, none of these iteration. So yeah, iteration is the right option. And I don't think so it requires our definitions. Okay. So what does it means if two loops are nested? Two loops one after the other, like this is a loop, this is a loop. No, this is not the case. One loop inside another. Yes, this makes sense. So one loop with different counts. No. Two loops with same counts. No. So right option would be option 2. And when loops are nested, one loop runs inside the another loop, and it's like having a toy inside a box, and the box is inside the another bigger box. Okay, so it would be increase the time complexity as well. So option 2 is the right option. A computer needs space to work. It needs some space that doesn't change and some space that changes depending on what it's doing. Which space is more important to think about when making a program? The space that doesn't change. So if we put that, we don't need to think. If it is there, okay, my code is working, I am fine. The space that changes, okay, so this makes sense, because somewhere where the space is not required and putting space can create some problems, we need to focus on that. So space is made by both parts. No, none of this. No. So the clear or the close answer would be 2. Yeah, option 2, the space that changes. The part that changes is more important because it depends on the size of the problem the computer is solving, and bigger problems are need to be more space. When we check how fast a program is, we care more about the time takes to run the program than the time to make it. Why? Because everyone need fast thing in their career. If you are scrolling your phone, if your phone start hanging, you will just irritated. You will feel irritated when you are using your mobile. So you need to take more time and less space as possible. So running a program always takes more time. Making a program always takes more time. Making time depends on running time, or you only need to make a program once but can run it many times. So typically, option 4 makes sense because you need to put whole brain on a program like once, not twice or thrice. But if you wrote an optimal program, then you don't need to change it for future things like 4 or 5 years. If new technology doesn't come into the picture, your code will sustain in the production and it will run continuously. So option 4 makes sense. Option 4 is the correct option. Again, please do mark parallelly what marks you got. So explanation, once you make a program, you can run it again and again. You care more about the time it takes to run. If Prashant has two numbers, A and B, between 0 to 27. So okay, 0 to 127 we have A to B, where is 128 characters or letters or bits. Okay, so he stores them in 7 bits. Okay, he stores them in 7 bits. Okay, he subtract B from A. Now we don't know what is bigger, either B is big or A is big. So it might be we end up having the solution would be minus 128 to 127, the positive 127, because meanwhile the 0 will also come. That's why 127. That would be the case. So to accommodate this, we need at least 2 power 7 bits, which is 128 bits. Now, having 128 bits, we can accommodate all stuffs. But if the number is negative, we need a signed bit as well, where I can initialize whether this number is positive or negative. Okay, so if you mark 0, it means it's positive. If you mark 1, or it means it's negative. So in total, you need 7 to accommodate, and you need one more bit to tell the sign of that particular number. So in total, how many bits you need? You need 8 bits. So I guess you got the pretty good idea of it. So yeah, 8 bit is required, and you can see correct answer would be 3, 8 bits. Whatever I told, whatever I explained, you can see like 7 bits for each, so it would be 128. But for storing the sign as well, like need a sign bit, which will be a bit, 1 bit, so 127. So 8 bit to store safely, 7 bit for the value, and 1 bit for the sign. Whatever I told, I listed here. If you can just pause the screen and learn if you don't know, because the next problem or next problem, I will ask the same triggered problem, you need to solve it. Okay, so 8 bits is required. Now the next problem, Ankita has two numbers between 0 to 31 and stores them in 5 bits. She multiplies the difference of the two numbers by 2. How many bits does she need to store the result? Okay, so 2 power 5, I know that it would be 32, and that many bits we have, 0 to 31, is it? So how many numbers we can store, whether it would be minus 32 to 0 2 via 0, it will go to 31. It can be negative, it can be positive. So please pause the screen and mark the correct option and see whether your answer is right or wrong if you're not able to see the explanation. Okay, so you need this much. Now she also multiplying his all bits by 2. So if you multiplied it by 2, you end up having 64 minus 64 20 to 262. So to accommodate 64 bits, you need at most like 2 power 6, now 2 power 6 bit to store. Now 32 into 2 would be 64 bits to store. But 64 bits you require to accommodate whole stuff which will be ranging in this particular bits range, and 1 bit external to store the sign bit as well. So in total, how many bits required? 6 plus 1, 7. So second would be the right answer of this problem. So correct option would be 2, which is 7 bit. And very similar, therefore instead of subtracting, I am multiplying here and finding out the response. I hope you marked this question right. So Stuti is making true or false question. What type of data should she use to store the answer? Very pretty simple, boolean, because boolean is used to create a function specifier or anything where you are dealing with a boolean stuff which is true or false, which is boolean is the right option of this. So explanation of boolean stores either true or false, which is the perfect for Stuti's questions. So if you want to prepare for TCS, NQT, Accenture, all the playlist is there filled with a number of resources, and it will help you, because if you see the comments, you will see the people are getting the questions from the particular video. And I also uploaded the sheets of Capgemini, Cognizant, TCS in 2025. This sheet is most recommended to you if you're practicing for any of these companies. And if you want this sheet or notes, whatever I'm speaking or taking here, you can just join a Telegram group. There is a Rose in our Telegram group as a new member, and she will provide you a link of a drive where all the companies have been listed, and all the company folders has their respective notes. So you can just refer it and ace your campus placement drive. So thanks for watching this video. If you're still watching, do consider subscribing to this channel, like this video, and share with your friends so that your friends can also do something in their career. So we'll meet you with a new video soon.